How's it going, guys? It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions. So on today's video, we are coming to you with a request from one of our members just because it's an indicator that we've been using so often, and it is what is the SMA, so the simple moving average, and the EMA, the exponential moving average. So it's an indicator that we use to give us a better judgment on how the stock is doing and if we're seeing upward momentum or downward momentum. And I'm going to tell you how I use it in my success in trading penny stocks. So hopefully you guys find this video helpful. If you guys do, please don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, and if you guys have any suggestions or any questions you guys might have, please comment below, or you guys can reach out to me with my email at techbuds@mail.com. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Alright guys, so in getting started, so what is a SMA and what is an EMA? So a simple moving average is essentially another indicator that you guys can use to see and predict upward momentum, right? So the whole point that we invest in stocks is for it to increase in value. So being able to identify the upward momentum or the rise in a stock is going to be critical to your success in trading penny stocks. So it's just another indicator that you guys can use as investors to get a better judgment on if the stock that you're trading has potential. So I'm going to be sharing the way I use SMA and EMA. Now I'm going to show you on how I use it on the Fidelity platform, which is the platform that I use to perform my technical analysis. It's definitely an indicator that I use to get a better judgment on the stocks that I'm investing in. I definitely do use it when it comes to pre-market movers, and it's one that I've been, focusing on for you guys to understand last week. So thank you for the individual within our group that actually shouted it out and telling me to talk about this one today. And if you guys have any suggestions, please just let me know. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to start sharing my screen and talk to you about how I used it when I was trading DRYS. Alright guys, so for DRYS, you're going to go here on the Fidelity platform. Fidelity is a free brokerage company you can use depending on the amount of money that you have in there. It gives you the option for this advanced chart. These gray areas that you see on both the left and right hand side are pre-market and aftermarket hours, right? So like you guys know, support and resistance are critical to what we do with TechBud Solutions and being able to catch stocks at the bounce, right? Now we're going to be talking about what the SMA and the EMA and the differences. Although they're generally the same thing, the EMA, which is the exponential moving average, it reacts a little bit better when it comes to volume. So first of all, just because of the analysis that I'm performing here, I know that there's a support at around 214 just because of the bounce, and then the rise and about a resistance around 250. So being able to identify the support and the resistance, again, that's critical, right, to your success. As it started going down, it's almost showing signs of upward momentum because it didn't hit during pre-market hours that same high. So although it did hit that high the day before, it didn't necessarily touch it a couple hours later. And then during pre-market hours on the 24th of February, it actually didn't go above 45. So this is the new resistance. As it comes down here, it bounces at that same support at 214. But how would you know that it's gonna go up, right? So it's never gonna be 100%, but another indicator that you can use is actually click on indicator. It gives you the option for SMA and EMA. EMA is the one I use just because it does react a little bit better to the volume, and I'm gonna show you this. So this one right now is the blue one, that's the EMA, right? Now we're gonna draw another indicator, and it's gonna be the SMA. As you see, it just doesn't fluctuate, this darker blue line, as much or as quick than the EMA, right? So I personally recommend the EMA if you have the chance to use that indicator, but if not, the SMA will definitely do the job as well. So I'm actually going to remove the SMA for now and focus on the EMA. So how it opened pre-market hours for DRYS. I'm going to show you how I use it to indicate that there was going to be a bounce around 214 and 215. Again, when it comes to TechBud Solutions, we have a whole plan before we actually trade any penny stock, right? So before you should be investing in any stock, you should understand what the support, what the resistance is, and where you're going to cut your losses if it all of a sudden takes a dip. So I had a whole game plan. I knew I was going to be buying around the 214, 215 area. I wanted to see that upward momentum. I knew I was going to be selling around my plan was 240 to 245. I ended up selling yesterday at 232 to be exact because of the resistance it hit. So it came back down and then actually ended up popping right back. So I'm going to put the graph a little bit closer just so the indicator gets a better judgment, and I'm going to put it in frequency of minutes. Because you are trading this at the moment, I would say just because the EMA is going to react a little bit better if you do it under minutes rather than 5 minutes, right? As DRYS was dropping, right, from the resistance at 245, I knew most likely because of the previous support that we were going to see a bounce at 214. But another indicator that I like to use, like we're saying and we're talking about, is the EMA. So as it continued to come down, it was bouncing at 214. The EMA wasn't necessarily still below the candlesticks. And a great way to use the EMA is the way that you can see that it has upward momentum is when the candlesticks are above the EMA line. And what I mean by that is, let me get a little bit closer. And as you see, the stock is coming down here, right? It continues to drop, continues to drop. We know there's a support around 214 to 215. So as it drops, once the candlesticks go above the EMA line, so this being the line and the candlesticks go above the EMA line, that's an indicator that it's showing upward momentum, meaning that the exponential moving average or the simple moving average, almost like just the average the candlesticks are moving, now it's above average, meaning that it's showing signs of upward momentum. So as it continues to rise, it's bouncing almost right on this EMA line, right? And as it continues to progress and increase in value, the EMA line follows, but still underneath the candlesticks, right? And that's what you want. And being able to identify this as an indicator, as it continues to rise, the resistance, around 240 to 250, you should know, I mean, you shouldn't have to wait for the EMA line. You should know that you should be selling around the 240 to 244 because the EMA line starts catching up, and then once it crosses the candlesticks once again, and the candlesticks now go below this EMA line, that is showing downward momentum. So again, the way that you see or can predict upward momentum with this indicator is once the candlesticks are above the EMA line. So going into it, when DRYS was dropping, the EMA line was above the candlesticks. Once it was rising, the candlesticks were above the EMA line. Again, it drops, the EMA line is on top. It drops, drops, drops. Once it crosses, now the candlesticks are above, it's showing signs of upward momentum, and the candlesticks again are above the EMA line. Once they cross, now it's showing downward momentum, and then it plays that same role continuously, right? So when it comes to pre-market movers, of course, you want to identify first the support and the resistance. Next, you have to set up a whole game plan, where you're buying, where you're selling, and where you're cutting losses. So when I was telling the team that I was going to be jumping into DRYS, I was telling them that I was waiting for the bounce at 214. And what I meant by that was I wanted to see the EMA line or the SMA line to show signs of upward momentum. So once it bounced from the 214 and it popped right over, that was showing me a sign. Although it did pop right back down, it didn't drop as low as it did before, and the congestion wasn't there at the support as much it was there before. Again, showing signs of upward momentum. So I set up a game plan. I'm buying in at 215, cutting losses at 213.99 to minimize loss. And my whole game plan was to actually sell around 230 to 240 based on the resistance I was able to identify a couple minutes ago based on the pre-market and aftermarket and previous trends within the days that followed, right? So again, this is just an indicator that you guys can use to get a better understanding on how the stock you are is doing. And of course, when it comes to investing, you want to make sure that you're catching it at the bounce. So if you can identify the support, and then you can use this indicator to see and predict or identify that upward momentum, then it's only going to lead to your success, because now you just have another indicator that you can use to get a better understanding on how the stock is doing. Alright, so that was my breakdown on how I use the EMA and the SMA. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful. Hopefully I made it simple for you guys. I like giving examples and kind of just breaking it down. Again, setting up a whole game plan is going to be a critical point in your success when it comes to investing. The reason people choose to not invest in penny stocks is because they tend to not know what they're investing in. And the biggest drawbacks are when someone tells you what to invest in and you not truly understand, and then you put your hard-earned money into a stock that you have no idea on what it is or what it can do, and then you end up losing hundreds if not thousands of dollars. And then with that, you kind of just have a bad experience and a bad connotation when it comes to penny stocks, and then you just forget about it altogether. So with TechBud Solutions, that is exactly what we are trying to exterminate. We want to make sure that our traders know what they're investing in, how to invest, kind of the basics and fundamentals of investing, right, and trading penny stocks. And we provide this platform in effort for you guys to share best practices and to share mistakes, because for those new members that are joining that have no experience whatsoever, learning from best practices and learning from experienced traders is definitely, I think, a way of almost just learning from your friends, right, or experience. So I'm really excited for TechBuds and how fast it's been growing. Right now we're sitting about 3,000 members worldwide. Actually, probably like 3,100 members worldwide, just because of the members that I added this morning. But it's definitely a huge community, and I make sure that it's a positive environment. I try my best to answer any questions that you guys have, and I want to make sure that I can provide you guys with the clearest and the best platform you guys can use in your success in trading penny stocks and investing whatsoever, right? So I'm really excited for what this year has to come. We did amazing last week. We had a huge amount of traders that were able to lock in, thousands and thousands of dollars worth of profit. If you guys want to try out what TechBuds Solutions is, it is a free group you can join. The link is going to be provided for you down in the description. I'd love to be a part of your success. If you guys would like me to, just click on the link, join the Facebook group, and then with that, there's actually a link that you click there to join the group chat, which is through GroupMe, and it is all provided for you on the top of the page. So thank you guys again so much for watching. If you guys have any suggestions or any comments on the video that I made today, or any recommendations for videos to come, I would really appreciate it. There's going to be a banner that's popping up right about here, and it's going to be about my new car. I bought a Corvette Z06. If you guys like cars, we do upload quite a bit of car videos, so if you guys could subscribe and stay tuned for those, then we definitely appreciate it. I hope you guys have an amazing week, and let's make sure that we end this year on a green note. Take care, guys.